We have a really cool question actually from Steve Param.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I destroy all your names today. Actually, I destroy all your names every day. Anyway, Steve on YouTube, which is gonna, we are the first name basis, Steve and I, right? We made Steve, right? So Steve on YouTube asked, discuss renting and camping an SUV like a RAV4 compared to a camper van. Is it better to get a self-contained van as far as saving on theme camping spots? All right. So first thing first, Steve, a Toyota RAV4 is probably the most popular kind of four-wheel drive you will be able to rent in New Zealand. Almost every company has one. However, I just want to point out that it is not necessary to have a four-wheel drive in New Zealand. We haven't found it any use every time we had a four-wheel drive, so we actually stick to non-four-wheel drive. The one time it might be of use is if you want to drive on the beach, let's say you want to do 90-mile beach or any of those places like that. However, you have to know that usually you are actually forbidden to do that when renting any kind of vehicle in New Zealand. It is part of your contract. So try to avoid doing these kind of things. So try to avoid wasting your money on a four-wheel drive when traveling in New Zealand. We recommend renting a car, which will save you already a lot of money on the cost of the rent, as well as on petrol. Now, as far as comparing with campervan, do you want to take a bit of that?
Well, yeah, so obviously in a campervan, like you mentioned, a self-contained campervan, that is the option to use freedom camping sites.
That will save you quite a lot of money, obviously, to use freedom camping site. Now, the thing with campervan is that you have to know that quite regularly you have to go to an actual proper campsite like a holiday park, because you need to empty your grey waste, you need to refill your water waste, and you need to repower all your batteries because the batteries don't power themselves. Even if you have solar panels on top of the campervan, it doesn't refill everything as much as you're going to be using them, that's for sure. So you've got to keep in mind that yes, there are some freedom campsites around. First, there are not as many as you think, and second, you will still need to go to a holiday park regularly. So if you consider the cost right here, I'd say that it would be a little bit cheaper to be in a campervan, yes, but not like a half price. Or you're not going to have like literally no accommodation cost for the whole time. That's one you need to keep in mind, right?
And consider the price of actually renting a campervan is a lot higher than renting a car.
Exactly.
So you maybe you can offset that price by getting a car and just staying in some cheap accommodation like backpackers, or even just traveling around with a tent. And if you want to get that sort of campsite experience, you can just travel in a car, take a tent out and do that as well. It's kind of really weighing up the costs between the two.
I'm also seeing cost of like just the everyday kind of life and time and stuff. So you travel with a car, right, and you stay in a hostel. You have a full kitchen that you can use. You can cook whatever you want, and usually you have a decent bed in which you can sleep and you get well rested, right? The kind of physical kind of cost and traveling campervan, again, I use that in a really broad term, right? Is that, well, you're going to be cooking really crappy food because honestly, like, it's not fun to cook in a campervan. Trust us, we've done that for a year. It's not fun. And the beds in campervans are, they're not that great either. So you've got to keep that in mind that, it will, make it like as further as you go with your trip, bit more like kind of grindy it's gonna feel, right? So there is a thought right here to keep in mind as well. Now, if you travel with the car versus if you travel with the campervan, you can have a much lower gas consumption, and almost everybody forgets that. When you look at comparing your prices, you compare the price of your accommodation plus the price of your car rent, and then you compare the price of your campervan and the price of the campsite. Then you do your math and you sort it. You forget that you're going to spend thousands on petrol, and thousands with an S on petrol with the campervan, maybe 1,000 without the S on petrol with the car. So you've got to keep that in mind, the amount of money that it will take to kind of maintain this thing. Also, you need to consider all your add-ons. You know, you're going to want to take an insurance for your car or for your camper van. First up, if you hire a car, very often your credit card company may include an insurance right here, which may make it like completely useless for you to even use the insurance that is offered by the rental company, which, you know, boom, $20 to $30 a day saved. That is pretty good. If you do hire a camper van with a credit card, usually that's not covered. So you already have to buy the insurance. Now, if you decide to buy the insurance, either way, you decide to buy the insurance with your car or buy it with your camper van, it's going to be much higher with the camper van because, you know, of the cost of the camper van. So you've got to keep that in mind as well. So considering all those things right here, we have made the choice, and you've seen that if you did watch New Zealand's Biggest Gap Year, we started the camper van, then you broke down, and the first thought that we had was we buying a car. And that's definitely what we did. We were like, you know what? The idea of the campervan was absolutely fantastic, but we found that because there is so much availability in accommodation, so much competition accommodation, the prices of accommodation in New Zealand are quite low, and that wasn't worth the extra cost. So that's basically what we decided. And we did find that for us, it was the best ratio. I am not 100% sure the prices are a huge difference. You know, sometimes the car and hostels may be slightly higher than the campervan. Sometimes the campervan is slightly higher, so it fluctuates that way, but we did find the flexibility much better. Because also Laura didn't like driving the campervan. Do you want to talk about the ease of drive?
Oh yeah, of course. So obviously campervans do come in different sizes. You can get huge motorhomes, or you can even get those little camper cars, which is just basically like a people carrier with a bed in the back. So yeah, there's obviously the larger campervans are a lot different to drive than a car because you have so much space that you need to be aware of. You know, you also need to be aware of your height as well, which is often like something that, you know, is easy to forget, especially with a lot of there's a lot of verandas and stuff like that, which are these overhangs that are coming out of shop fronts. So if you're parking on the side of the street, you need to be aware of like not crashing into anything that could be overhanging, or, you know, there's a lot in terms of driving. Obviously motorhomes are a lot more of a challenge, and also, you know, you can't go as fast in a motorhome, you can't swing around corners, you have to be really careful and really take it easy.
Are you planning to drive around? What?
Well, you know, people, they have like, when it's got like a high clearance, like it catches wind as well, so, you know, you can't be like driving as fast as you would.
I per se don't find it fun driving campervan.
Pretty much.
All right, Steve, I hope that this answers your question. There is a lot to take in consideration. I will also take in consideration the season that you're traveling, because price drop down a lot in winter. So we do have a lot of articles actually covering the cost of traveling in New Zealand by car, the cost of traveling in New Zealand by campervan, and all those kind of things. I will put you some link in the description below to help you make your decision. But if you do have any follow-up questions in the live chat, in the comments, we're here to help. And send that to us, guys. Send it to us.